I travel to Madrid, the capital city of Spain, with my family. Spain is a country in southwestern Europe, and Madrid sits right in the center of the country. Before we arrive, I explain this to my children so they understand where we are going and why this city is important. I say, we are going to Madrid, the capital of Spain. My son looks curious and asks, so this is where the government is? I answer, yes. This is where the king used to live and where the country is still governed. My daughter adds, so this is like the heart of Spain. My husband nods and says, exactly, and everything connects from here. Before leaving the hotel, I open a map on my phone and show it to them. France, Portugal, Spain, Madrid, Mediterranean Sea. I point and say, see, Madrid is not near the sea, but right in the middle. My son says, so people had to travel here from everywhere. I reply, yes. That's why Madrid became powerful. When we arrive at the airport, the atmosphere feels lively and warm. People speak quickly, using expressive voices and gestures. My daughter listens and says, people sound excited when they talk. I smile and answer, that's Spanish energy. Language and emotion go together here. At passport control, the officer looks at our passports and then at the kids. He asks, is this your first time in Spain? I reply, yes, we're visiting Madrid as a family. He smiles and says, welcome. Madrid is very family-friendly, my son whispers. He looks happy when he talks. I explain, Madrid was designed to show power and confidence. My husband adds, kings wanted people to feel impressed. I tell them that Madrid became the capital in the 1500s when King Philip II chose it. We begin walking at Puerta del Sol, the center of the city. I say, this square is like kilometer zero for Spain. My daughter asks, so all roads start here? I answer, symbolically, yes. A street performer nearby is juggling and smiling. My son watches and says, this city feels playful. The performer hears him and says, Madrid is always awake. I laugh and say, that sounds right. We walk toward Plaza Mayor, a large historic square. I explain that it was used for markets, celebrations, and even royal events. My daughter looks around and says, it feels like a stage. My husband replies, that's because life happened here. For lunch, we stop at a traditional restaurant. The waiter greets us warmly and asks, would you like to try traditional Spanish food? I answer, yes, something the children can enjoy, but also something local. He suggests paella, croquetas, and tortilla española. My son asks, is paella spicy? The waiter smiles and says, not spicy, just flavorful. My daughter says, I want the little fried ones. The waiter nods and replies, the croquetas are very popular with children. When the food arrives, the kids watch closely. My daughter bites into a croqueta and says, it's crispy outside and soft inside. My husband tastes the paella and says, this feels like comfort food. I explain, food here is meant to be shared and enjoyed slowly. After lunch, we walk to Prado Museum. I explain that this is one of the most important art museums in the world. My son asks, is this where Goya is? I smile and say, yes, and you'll see why he matters. Inside, I explain that Francisco Goya painted both beautiful royal portraits and very dark, emotional scenes. My daughter looks at one painting and says, this feels sad. I reply, Goya showed real human feelings, not just pretty pictures. My husband adds, he painted what people were afraid to say. The kids nod slowly, trying to understand. Later, we visit Reina Sofia Museum. I tell them, this is where Picasso's Guernica is. My son asks, why is it black and white? I explain, because Picasso wanted to show pain, fear, and chaos during war. My daughter stands quietly and then says, It feels loud even without sound. I say, that's the power of art. Outside the museum, we stop in a park where children are playing traditional Spanish games. An instructor shows them a simple clapping and rhythm game. My son struggles at first and says, "This is harder than it looks." My daughter laughs and says, "You have to feel the rhythm." I say, "That's how Spanish music and play work." In the afternoon, we explore local shops. We see fans, handmade ceramics, and scarves. A shop owner asks, "Are you looking for something traditional?" I reply, "Yes, something that shows Spain." She shows the kids small flamenco dolls. My daughter asks, "Do people still dress like this?" The owner answers, "Yes, during festivals." My son says, "The clothes look proud." I explain, "Traditional clothing shows identity." Later, we visit a cultural center where the kids try flamenco outfits. My daughter wears a dress with ruffles and spins. My son wears a short jacket and says, "I feel serious." The instructor laughs and says, "Flamenco is strong and emotional." As evening comes, we walk through Retiro Park. People row boats, play music, and relax. My daughter says, "This feels peaceful." My husband replies, "Every busy city needs a place to breathe." For dinner, we eat at a small neighborhood place. The waiter asks, "Are you enjoying Madrid?" I answer, "Yes, especially learning its culture together." My son says, "I like that history and fun are mixed." My daughter adds, "And the food." At night, we walk back through the city. Lights glow, and people gather late. I explain, "People in Madrid eat and talk later than many places." My husband smiles and says, "The city doesn't rush." On our last day, we sit together and talk. My son says, "I liked Goya because he showed real feelings." My daughter says, "I liked Picasso because the painting felt strong." My husband says, "They learned art without pressure." As we leave Madrid, I hold my children's hands. This city taught us about expression, history, and emotion. It showed us that art, food, and daily life are connected. Madrid does not shout its beauty. It invites you to feel it.